Hi, this is Martin Howey. I'm the founder and CEO of TopLine Business Solutions. I'm so glad you're with me today because the information I have to share with you can be life-changing for you, just like it has been for so many other people just like you. You know, the marketplace has changed so much. It's changed dramatically, as you probably well know. Business owners today are struggling, trying to figure out, how can I get more customers? How can I generate more profits for my business? And they're having a hard time. You see, if they keep doing today what they did yesterday, they're not going to get the same results because the market's changed. We know that customers are more sophisticated, more educated, and more knowledgeable than they've ever been before. By the time they come to a store or an office or a place of business, they already know what they're looking for. They know what size, they know what color, they know how big, they know how fast, they know whatever the bells and the whistles are that come with it. And in many cases, they know what the business owner has paid for that product or service. And they know what they're willing to pay for it. And if you can't meet them on their terms, they'll move on down the line and find somebody else who will. And competition is more keen, more cutthroat than it's ever been before. We know that business owners out there today, not knowing how to compete in today's tough economy, are cutting their prices, hoping to generate more customers and generate more money off of those new customers than they would lose in the cutting of their prices. Well, it doesn't work that way. Margins are key in business, and you've got to maintain and protect those margins. Well, there are so many opportunities out there. Our consultants today are having more success than they ever have before. Let me give you a couple of examples. Jeremiah is one of those consultants that comes to mind. Jeremiah is one of those go-get-'em kind of guys. He came through training. He absorbed everything we taught him. He didn't worry about putting a business card together, putting a website together, or doing any of those kinds of things that most people do. What he did is he said, I need a client, and I need one right now. So he went out and he visited with a bookkeeper, small-time operator, a lady who had a bookkeeping service. They sat down with her and he showed her with the Excel-based calculator, the calculator we give you in training, that shows you what you can do by making a few small tweaks in their business, using their own numbers, what can happen. Well, he showed her how she could double her business in 30 to 45 days by just making a few changes. Well, she was so excited. She said, well, Jeremiah, how much does it cost to work with you? Now, he knew she didn't have a lot of money, but he put his price out there anyway. He said, I charge $3,000 a month and 10% over an existing baseline, over what you're doing right now. And he watched for her countenance to fall, and it did. But before she could say anything, Jeremiah said, look, I know you can't afford that price, but you have the kind of business that I would really like to work with. I can see such potential in your business, how we can turn your business around almost overnight and double the amount of profits that you're making. And also, you have a database of people that might be good prospects for me that I could work with. I'd be willing to cut my price to $1,500, just half of what I normally charge. Take the percentage from 10% up to 14%. If you'll introduce me into some other people in your database that you think might make good clients for me. Well, she was so excited. She jumped up out of her chair, ran around the desk, gave him a big hug, and said, when can we start? Now, Jeremiah just landed a $1,500 a month client. She introduced him to somebody else who paid him $2,000 a month. And then she introduced him to somebody else who paid him $8,000 a month. Now, within 60 days, Jeremiah was making $11,500 a month from 3 clients. That's pretty good. Jeremiah and I worked together to land that $8,000 a month deal. Now, that's the kind of thing I do. I work with our consultants to help them land deals that are profitable for them. So Jeremiah is off and running. He's doing very well. Now, is Jeremiah an unusual case? Yeah, he really is. Most people don't go out and get an $8,000 client right off the bat. But Jeremiah had the confidence, and he targeted a specific kind of business, and he pulled in that $8,000 a month deal. Now, Eddie Cross is another one that comes to mind. Eddie's kind of an unusual guy. Eddie's a minister back in Philadelphia. And Eddie came through our training. He couldn't even stay for the last day because it was a Saturday. He had to get home and prepare his sermon for the next day. Well, after that was all done, Eddie called a minister down in the Philippines at a sister church that they had. And he said, look, I'm coming down to the Philippines to give some information to you and help you with your business and your church down there. But while I'm there, can you pull together some business owners so I can give them a business building seminar? Well, the pastor got on the phone. He got 50 people in a room. And he went down, made a presentation. It was just a week out of training. Made a presentation, sold $1,000 worth of pre-course materials. Now, these are materials that we give you before you even come to training. They're grounding materials. We don't charge for these. But Eddie, not knowing what else to do, went down and sold those and made $1,000 from that one seminar. In addition, he picked up the contact information from all 50 people, the names and email addresses, and he emailed them and said, look, I'm coming down in a couple of months to do another seminar. I'd really like to have you there. So Eddie was off and running right off the bat. Robert Stanley is another one. Robert called me 3 weeks out of training. He said, Martin, it works. I said, what works, Robert? He said, what you taught me in training. I said, what did I teach you? And he said, you told me to go out and find somebody who could put together a seminar and sponsor something. So I went and I talked to a bank. And I found out this bank had money they spend every month on community involvement. And we put together a seminar, and they invited 60 people. Now, some of those were their clients and customers. Some were prospects that they would like to have as customers. But it's a way for them to give back to the community. They didn't charge anything for the seminar. We put the seminar together, 60 people in a room. After I made my presentation, 23 of them asked me for additional information. I got 4 confirmed appointments, and I made 2 sales. Now that's pretty good, right off the bat. Now Robert still has all those other people that he hasn't talked to or who haven't requested information from him to go back to and find out, what did you learn at the seminar? What are you implementing? How's it working? Oh, you're not implementing it? Okay, well, do you mind if I came by and showed you how to do that? Now he can pick up some consulting clients because of that. So there's a number of things that you could do. See, this business is so lucrative. It's so brain dead simple. It really is. When you take what we teach you in our training and you implement it in your business, you can get off and running very quickly. And the nice thing is, you can work it from home. You don't have to have an office unless you want to. You don't have to have any employees unless you want to. Many of our consultants use virtual assistants, people who live in another part of the country, and they pay a certain amount of money for a certain amount of time that they have. They're not even full-time employees. So they don't have any payroll to worry about, any payroll taxes to worry about. They don't have any stock or inventory to keep track of. They can work the hours that they want to work, and they can work with the clients that they want to work with. If somebody doesn't get along with you, you don't get along with them, you have a personality conflict, not a problem. You don't have to work with that person. So it's your business. You can choose who you want to work with, the hours you want to work, and how you want to run your business. Well, this business is great, and it's so brain dead simple. In fact, we make it so simple that almost anybody can do it with just a little bit of effort. And one of the things that we use, one of the tools that we use, is what we call our marketing blueprint. This blueprint right here makes it so easy for people to walk through the step-by-step process that we use. And I'll go through this and show you some of the things that we talk about. The first thing that we talk about over here, the first step is our client acquisition system. How do we attract clients? That's the most important thing, right? Getting a client. Well, we have 8 steps on how to attract clients. Let me take you through a couple of these steps. The first thing we're going to do is identify your target market. Now, we give you a bunch of different target markets here to work on. The most important thing you can do is identify who it is that you want to work with. Because you may not work for everyone, but you can work with certain kinds of businesses. We tell you exactly who those businesses are, how to get in touch with them, and what to say to them. The next thing is our lead generation. What kinds of things are we going to do to generate leads from this particular market? And we have a number of things here. Now, underneath here, you'll see that there's something in parentheses. It says marketing system. This is the marketing system manual that I'll take you through in just a minute. It tells you exactly what manual to use. Now, after we've generated our lead, the next is how are we going to capture the lead. And we have a number of ways down here to capture the lead, so we can know, we can go back to that person and we can touch base with them on a regular basis and make sure that we stay in touch with them until they become a client. Next, we have our initial qualification call. Look, you never want to go out on a call without, first of all, qualifying somebody. You want to make sure that person is the right kind of business for you. You want to make sure that the character of that person that runs the business is the right kind of character. You don't want to get involved with shady people. You don't want to get involved with businesses that are not in the makeup that you want. You want to make sure that everything is in place before you even go out on the call. So this is a case, in a certain instance, I call it an initial qualification call. But in some cases, it could be an initial disqualification call. Because if the person isn't the kind of person you want to work with, or the business isn't the kind of business you want to work with, you don't want to spend any time with them at all. So before you ever go out and see somebody, we get on the phone, we give you all the questions to ask. It's a simple, easy to qualify process to make sure these people are right for you. The next thing is our mail or our email follow-up. How are we going to follow up with these people? What if they don't buy from us now? What are we going to do? How are we going to keep in touch with them? What are we going to do to make sure that they don't fall through the cracks and we lose them somewhere? Because remember, you're paying for these leads. when you generate a lead, it costs you a certain amount of time or money to generate that. And so you want to make sure you maximize that. The next thing is our competitor research. We put together an entire competitor research program, which I'll show you in just a minute. But that one thing right here will help you close 3 or 4 out of every 5 presentations you make. If you make the right presentation to the right audience, you'll close 3 or 4 out of every 5 presentations. This is critical. And it tells you again what manual to go to. This is a client acquisition system manual. It's in there. The next step is to compile the competitive intelligence report. And I'll go over that in just a minute as well. It tells you step by step what to do. And next, we have our competitive intelligence report discovery meeting, where we sit down with the business owner and we go over exactly what we found in our competitive intelligence report. So that's how we acquire clients. That's our client acquisition system. So what happens after you attract a client? Well, we have our business optimization system. And that consists of 9 different steps. The first thing we're going to do is have our exponential business growth audit meeting. We're going to sit down together with them and find out and share with them what we found out in our audit meeting and help them come to an idea of what needs to be done in the business. We have our existing customer and competitor research. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to sit down and we're going to ask them for a list of their customers. Their good customers, their excellent customers, and their poor customers. We're going to interview those people. We give them a questionnaire and say, would you approve this? So these are the kind of questions we can ask. And we're going to ask those customers, what do you think about this business? What do you like about this business? What would you like to see them do differently? So we're going to get input from their customers. We're also going to evaluate their competitors and find out what their competitors are doing. And the next thing, we're going to have a staff and employee meeting. We're going to sit down with every one of their employees and interview them and say, tell us about what you like about this business, about this company. What don't you like? What would you like to see change? By the way, this is confidential, so the business owner doesn't know who's saying what. But we're going to find out from the competition, from the competitors, from the competition, we're going to find out from the customers, and we're going to find out from the employees what's going on in the company. Now look, business owners have never taken this step. They've never done this before in their own business. We're going to sit down and share with them ideas that they've never seen before, ideas that can literally turn their business around. Because you see, so many business owners are running the business the way they want to run it, not the way it makes sense to the buying public, and not in a way that makes sense to combat the competition. But that's exactly what we're going to find out right here. Then we're going to go on and we're going to have our development of the business optimization action plan. It tells you what manual to go to and what pages in the manual to go to. This is how simple it is. You see, it's laid out step by step where you're going to find out what the business owner needs, what the competition is delivering, and we're going to find out then we're going to develop a plan for them. Over here we have our strategic development meeting where we sit down and we go through this meeting and explain to the business owner what we've determined we're going to do. And then we're going to implementation meeting. Here's an implementation where it tells them, okay, who's going to do what in the business? Look, you're a consultant. You're not here to lick and stick envelopes. That's not what your job is. Your job is to give them ideas and help them implement those ideas in their business. They're going to do the work. And it's very important for you to have that mindset because you don't want to be another employee. You want to hold yourself out as an expert. Let me give you an example. Steve Clausen, one of our consultants, said when he came through training, he said, there are a couple of things that I think about before I even go into a meeting. The first thing is I'm sitting in my car, I realize I don't need this client. I want that mindset. I don't need this client. I'd like to have the client, but if I don't get the client, it's okay. I don't need them. The second thing is when I walk into that room, I look around and I say to myself, Steve, you're the smartest guy in this room at this particular moment for this particular problem. Not out of arrogance, not out of conceit, not out of any of that. But I say, let me give you an example. If I'm working with an HVAC company, heating and air conditioning, and my air conditioner goes out, I call them and they send an expert out to work with me on my air conditioner. Now if that expert says, Steve, I want you to go over there and flip that switch and let's turn it on and see if it works. What do? I go over and I flip that switch. And he says, now turn it off. I turn it off. Now who's working for whom? You see, I own the house, I own the air conditioner, but this guy is smarter than me. That's why he's there, because I couldn't solve the problem. So I'm actually working for him. Now I use that in my business owner meeting. When I look around at that room and I say, who's the smartest man in this room? I am. Why? Because they have a problem they couldn't solve on their own, and they asked me to come out and solve that problem. So they're working for me. When I tell them to do something, I expect them to do it. Why? Because that's how you get results. Not me doing it. I tell you this is what you need to do, and you need to get your staff to do it, and they do it. If they don't do it, they're cheating themselves and they're cheating me. You see, because my income is based on that. We're going to have several meetings along the way to make sure they understand what needs to be done and that we understand what is getting done or is not getting done, and that we can call them to repentance if we need to on this. Because you see, getting results is the key. That's the name of the game. That's how you get repeat business, that's how you get referrals, and that's how you make money. So we want to make sure we have it all laid out so it's step by step by step so you can't get lost. If you ever get lost, what do? You come back to the blueprint and find out where you are. What manual do we need? And what page in that manual are we looking for? Now there's another section over here. And these are income opportunities. You want to find out how to make more money in your business. There are a number of opportunities that you have here. It doesn't have to be consulting. You can do seminars, you can do workshops, you can publish books, you can publish special reports. We'll show you how to do all of that. You can do webinars, you can do teleconferences, you can do 4-week workshops, you can do 2 or 3 day workshops. There's a number of things, audio recording, DVDs. We're going to show you how to do all that. But these are ideas that you can use to generate additional income. Now you see, this is only part of it because there's another section. And that's this piece right here. If you look at this, you'll see that there's a lot of blanks on it. And the reason they're blanks is this is what you're going to use with your client to help them identify what needs to be done. In other words, who are their target markets? Who are we going to go after for their business? If they're a chiropractor, they're going to be different than maybe for an estate planning attorney, or maybe different than a CPA. So we want to find out who are their target markets. We're going to put in here the lead capture and idea. All this is exactly the same as a blueprint you use for yourself, except it's blank. This is 18 by 34. You can put this up on your wall, and you can fill it out as you go. Or you can take this by and show your client. Say, look, this is what we're going to do, or your prospect. This is what we're going to do to build your business. We're going to go through all of these. There's 8 different steps in client acquisition. There's 9 different steps over here for how to optimize your business. And then here's some additional income opportunities over here that you can use to generate more income for your business. You see how simple this is? So what you're doing for your business, you're going to show them what to do in their business. That's how simple it becomes. Now I told you I'd tell you about the marketing manual. This is your marketing manual right here. This marketing manual is full of ideas, and you have all these tabs inside that show you different things that you can do to market your services to your prospects. You can use this to market your own business. You can also use it to market your clients' businesses as well. Now here's what it talks about. It talks about how to generate leads. First of all, it talks about who's your target market, how to select a target market, what to look for, what kinds of questions to ask, and then it gives you all these lead generating ideas right here. Now there's a number. You're probably going to say, well, some of those don't apply to me. I don't like that. That's okay. When you go to a salad bar at the restaurant, you don't eat everything on a salad bar, right? You take the things that you like and you take the things that you don't like and you leave them alone. It's the same here. You're going to go through this manual, you're going to say, I really like this idea. This makes a lot of sense. I'm going to use this. And somebody else behind you will say, well, I don't like that. That doesn't fit my personality or fit what I want to do. That's okay. Not a problem. Leave it and move on to something else. There's a number of different things, over 20 different ideas in there that you can use to generate qualified leads for your business. Now earlier I told you about the competitive intelligence report. This is the competitive intelligence report. What you're going to do is you're going to analyze how the competition is marketing their message to the marketplace. What are they doing to get the message out into the marketplace? Now, you can have a great product or service, but if nobody knows about it, you're going to have a disadvantage. I can have a mediocre or even a poor product or service, but if I market it effectively and I get it out into the marketplace, I'll have a tremendous advantage over you. And that's what this is all about. Who communicates their message to the marketplace the most effectively? And that's what this manual is. And you're going to go through it. It's all cookie cutter. It's all boilerplate. It's got graphics. And it's got a number of different things in here that you can use to show your prospect what's going to happen in their business and what they're going to do to be able to take advantage of the gap in the marketplace. Now, I say gap because we're going to find out what the competition is offering. We're going to find out what the marketplace is wanting. And there's going to be a big gap between what they want and what they offer. whoever closes that gap the most effectively is going to have a tremendous advantage in the marketplace. Now, I also mentioned to you we have our business analysis, or confidential business analysis. This is 40 pages of questions that you're going to ask that business owner about their business. And here's what's interesting. By the time you complete page 3, the answer you're going to get, the typical answer you're going to get is, I don't know. Should I know that? Boy, I wish I had known that. I should have known that information. Because you see, they are so good at what they do in their business, which is very limited, but they don't have an overall view of their business and where it needs to go and what they need to do to get it there. There are a couple of reasons why you want to use this kind of a thing. By the way, you don't give this to them. You ask them the questions live and you fill out the answers. And here's why. If you give it to them, they're going to write after about the 3rd page, they're going to put NA, 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 not applicable. Or they don't know the answer to it. That's not what you want. You want to dig in and get as good answers as you can, because that information you're going to get is going to help you in your business. The second reason you want to do this is because you want them to come to the conclusion on their own. They don't have a clue what's going on in their business. See, you can't say, John, when it comes to running your business, you really don't have a clue, do you? You're really stupid, aren't you? You can't say that. But they can. They can say, you know what? As I go through this, I realize there's so much I don't know about my business. There's so much I wish I did know, because my business would be so much more effective and so much more profitable if I just knew the answers to that information. So this is one of the most powerful things you have. This is after you get a client. Let me go back to this competitive intelligence report once again. This is one of those documents that as soon as your competition sees, not your competition, as soon as your customers or your prospects see it, they're going to say to you, can I have that? It's that valuable. And the answer is no, of course you can't have it. Because this is the information that I use to work with the business owners that I'm going to work with. It's got information about all your competition in here. If you give this to them, they know what to do. They don't need you. This is your worksheet. Now, once they become a client, you can give it to them, but not up front. And they're going to come to this conclusion. Let's just say there are 21 competitors in the marketplace. And we're going to rank them according to how effectively they communicate their message to the marketplace. Remember I said whoever communicates their message the most effectively is going to have an advantage, right? So let's say there's 21. We're going to rank them from the one who communicates their message the most effectively, number 1, and the least effectively down here at the bottom, number 21. Let's say they're number 7 on the list. If they want to dominate their market, they don't have to beat everybody. All they've got to do is beat the number 1 guy. And we know what that person is doing because we have all these different things that we've measured, which are very easy to obtain, and then we just beat that person. We do what they're doing, and we do a couple of other things, and we dominate the market. We get our message out there more effectively. Now, this covers so much information, but it's so boilerplate. All you do is take some information from the competition that you're going to find very easy to do and plug into here, and now you have a customized report. Now, in their mind, you don't have to say to them, look, if you don't take advantage, I can go to one of these other ones. You don't have to say that. In their mind, they already get it. They say, he's got all my competition. He's got me listed. All he has to do is go in and change a couple of names and a couple of positions in here, and he can take this to another one of these markets, another one of my competition. So I guess I better take advantage of it, because if I don't, they're going to, and they're going to have a tremendous advantage over me. That's how powerful. That's why I say, if you make the right presentation of the right market, you're going to close 3 or 4 out of every 5 presentations you make. It's that powerful. We've seen it happen over and over again. Now, there are a number of ways that you can market your business. There are a number of ways you can do things. We've talked about consulting, but there are some business owners or some consultants who want to work with business owners on a non-continuation basis. They don't want to work with them on a consulting basis. They want to do seminars. Well, if you want to do seminars, that's fine. We have a seminar brochure. All you do is take my picture off, take my name off, put yours on here. Inside, it gives you some information in here about what the seminar's about, who should attend, some bonuses that you're going to get down here, some testimonials, and on the back of the testimonials. You want to use this? Fine, use it. Just change a few things on here, and you've got yourself a marketing piece. Now, what about the seminar? We make that easy too. Here's the seminar. Once again, 4 hot marketing strategies that can flood your business with customers no matter what condition the economy is in. And it's a 4-step process that has it all in here, laid out for you, ready to go. All you have to do is deliver it. Now, if you want to make an hour presentation, you can go right through here, and when you get down to some of these areas where you fill in the blanks, you say, now when you go back to your office, you go back home, complete this information because it will help you. If you want to turn it into a 3-hour seminar, you can do that too, because you can now go through and fill out the information. And then you can say, all right, who would like to share what they put down? And now you can comment on that, and you get other people to comment on that as well. So you've got a very powerful seminar right here that's an accordion type of seminar that go anywhere from 45 minutes up to 3 hours, if that's what you want to do. Here's another one, how to exponentially grow the bottom line profits of any business. It's another step-by-step workshop format that you can use for any kind of business owner. We make it really simple for you. A number of things that we do. I mean, look, I got 45 years in this business. I've got over 1,100 consultants right now working in 36 countries. I can't afford to have failures. And so we make this thing so brain dead simple that anybody can take this and put it to work. And the only thing you have to do is actually do it. Now, there are a couple of bonuses we're putting in on this next training that we have coming up. I've written a book that some of the consultants have taken and changed the name on, and changed my name, and changed the name of the book. The book is exactly the same. The book is laid out in Microsoft Word, and I made it so simple for you. All you have to do is go in and change the name. Now, here's a couple of different names. It's all about the marketing. Here's another one. Lifetime customers, real profits. Here's another one. Up Your Business Now. Here's another one. Spectacular Business Growth. All the same book. They're exactly the same. On the back, all they've done is taken my picture off, put their picture on. That's all they have to do. Change the bio a little bit. It's all in Microsoft Word. I give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. Now, here's the important part of this. When you're an author, a published author, you have an advantage over people who are not, because you've written the book. Now, you may say to yourself, well, I didn't write the book. That's not fair. That's not honest. Well, look, most books are ghostwritten anyway. Donald Trump doesn't sit down and write all his books out word for word. Somebody interviews him, they take his ideas, they write the book, he approves it, edits it, and away it goes. That's how most of the books are done, business books. They're called ghostwriters that write these kind of books. And that's what I've done. I've made this book so simple, and so at the size it can go inside a breast coat pocket or inside a purse. Now, the reason I did that is because if you walk in to see a business owner and you got your briefcase or a portfolio or anything in your hands, you look like and you telegraph the fact that you're a salesperson. And that's not what you want. You want to walk in there like they don't know who you are, whether you're a customer, a prospect, or a sales, they don't know. So when you get in and you start talking to them, you say, look, I published a book. I'd like to have you have a copy of it. It's called Up Your Business Now. Proven steps you can take today to grow your business exponentially. Or whatever title you want to put on. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever title you want. And in here are some great ideas of what they can do to grow their business. It's so simple. And on the back it has your bio. You've written the book, now you can give them a copy of the book. That's better than a business card. Because see, a business card is name, rank, and serial number in most cases, right? You have your name, you have your company name, you have your address, you have your email address, you have like 4 different phone numbers and a fax number. You have all these kinds of things on here, but it doesn't really say very much. This says a lot about you. So you have this. Now, I'm putting this in as a bonus. If I were to sit down and write a book for someone, I would charge a minimum of $5,000 or maybe even $10,000, depending on the size of the book and the content. But I put this together so that I can give it to our consultants that are coming through this particular training so that they can have an advantage in the marketplace. This is going to be something we don't normally do. In addition to that, I will do a recording for you, a CD recording. You and I get on the phone and we put together a recording that can be put into a variety of different packages. You can use whatever you want. You can change the colors, you can change the title, you can change it, whatever you want to do. And so the idea here would be I get on the phone with you and I might say something like this. Welcome to our call today. Today's guest is John Smith. I'm so excited about having John here because John is a business building expert. He shows people how to grow their businesses almost overnight, exponentially. So John's here today to share some ideas with us about what we can do in our own businesses to make things better, to make things run more efficiently, more effectively, and more importantly, more profitably. So John, welcome. It's good to have you with us. And then John might say, well, thanks very much, Martin. I appreciate you having me on today. I'm excited about sharing some information with you. Then you could go back and say, I would go back and say, well, John, tell me about your business. you've got to be doing something right. I mean, people do business with you over and over. Even after you've already made them very successful, they keep coming back to do business with you again and again. Tell me, what is it that keeps people coming back to do business with you and referring others to you? It's got to be something you're doing right. And John says, well, thank you very much, and blah, 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 blah. He goes on. Now, I give you the entire script. I give you all the questions and all the answers. If you don't like the questions, rewrite the questions. If you don't like the answer, rewrite the answers. If you want to just do it off the top of your head, do it off the top of your head. But I give it to you already done. Now, look, you can't come back and say, look, I'm the hottest consultant out there. You ought to do business with me because. You can't say that. But I can. I can say, look, John, you got to be doing something right. I mean, business owners come back to do business with you over and over and then refer other people to do business. Why is that? What are you doing right? See, I can say that. You can't say that because it sounds bragging. So we can do any number of things. We can take this thing and put it together in a DVD case, which is better than a jewel case, right? Because it's got more perceived value. It's about the size of a book. So we can change the title, we can change the layout, we can change anything that you want. This one has even gone so far as to do something like this. Now, this one inside, here's his CD, and here's information about him. And on the back, here's different testimonials we put on here. So I'm going to show you how to get testimonials and how you can do that. Now, if I were going to do this for somebody, I'd probably charge them about $3,000 to do it. I'm going to edit it. I'll cut all the ums and ahs out of it. I will put music at the front, put music at the back. I'll send you a finished product. All you have to do is go in and take the template, whatever you want to use, and just change something and duplicate those on a CD. Now you've got something. Look, you walk into a business with a CD or something like that talks about who you are, it's going to have a big impact on that business owner. But look, this is just part of it. In addition to that, I'm going to show you exactly what to do with it. I put together a script book, 54 pages of information that you can use and ideas and scripts, actual scripts you can use to get rid of these things. How do you give it to your neighbor who has a business without offending him or making him feel like there's an obligation here? How do you give it to a business owner? What do you say if the business owner, you go back to the business owner and he hasn't listened to it yet? What do you say if he has listened to it? What do you say if he's passed it on to somebody? What do you say to get him to pass it on to somebody? It's all in here. 54 pages of scripts, of ideas and things that you can use and to get this information out. So I say it's very valuable. In addition, I'm going to give you this CD that we put together. It's actually a DVD. How to infuse quick cash into any business in any economy. Now there are 9 different consultants on here, plus myself. I've asked every one of them to share their best 2 minutes about how to infuse quick cash into any business in any economy. Now, I'm the #1 spotter. You can see my picture. What if you took my picture off and put your picture here and put me down here someplace? You see what happens? Now you're one of a handful of hand-chosen people to be able to contribute to this. It says, right on here, the subtitle is, readily implementable, easy to apply, no-cost or low-cost strategies that work in today's tough economy. And right here at the very top it says 10 top international business consultants share their secrets on how to infuse quick cash into any business in any economy. What if you had something like that and you were one of the 10, but in fact you were the biggest picture here? What does that say about you? It says you stand out over above all the rest of these. Now in addition to that, it says special bonus, instant business profits, how to quickly and easily grow your business without spending the fortune you hope to earn. So let's take a look at the inside. Here's the DVD over here that has all those 10 interviews on it. And over here is not an interview, but here is a monologue recording of you sharing information, business building information. It's about 40 minutes. I give you the entire script. All you have to do is read it, and now you put it together, put it in here. And then on the back, here's a little bit of bio about what each one of these people are going to be talking about. Right? This thing is so valuable. When you come out with something like this, it will blow your customers or your prospects away because it shows that you're one of the bona fide experts. You're one of the top 10 international consultants. So simple to do. I'll show you how to do the video and how to put it in here. In addition to that, I'm going to show you how to create a shock and awe box. Now this shock and awe box has a specialized label on here that's customized to the person that it's going to. You walk in with a business card and lay a business card down on the table, and you might be 10 times or 100 times better consultant than I am, but I walk in with a shock and awe box and I put it down, I will blow you out of the water. You won't stand a chance. Why? Because I'm in business. All you've got is a business card, and I'm in business. Here's just some of the things that could go in. What if you had a copy of your CD program? What if you had a copy of your book that you could put in? What if you had a copy of something that says how to get maximum results in minimum time? A time management program for business owners that's easy to apply. This is a pretty hefty report. What about finding your own uniqueness? What makes you different, special, and unique, and sets you apart from anyone else? And why should they do business with you? How about the Business Doubler Fast Start Guide? Some ideas that can help double your business almost overnight. How about 3 market domination strategies that will dramatically multiply your sales and your profits? All of these can be customized with your name and your information on it. Gives you ideas in here that you can use to grow a business very, very quickly. But what if you knew that person was, say, a Jillian Michaels fan, and she really liked Jillian Michaels, and she liked yoga? So we go and we find a DVD about yoga with Jillian Michaels. And how about we find another book that has Jillian Michaels' picture on the front of it? Now, what if that person was a bass fisherman? What would you do? Well, maybe we could find a bass lure, or we could find a bass magazine, or we could find a bass fishing DVD or something that we could put in there. In other words, how can we customize this for that person to make them feel special? Like I mentioned, you throw a business card down, I come in with this information, it'll blow you out of the water. This right here, along with your competitive intelligence report, will blow your prospects out of the water and make it so brain dead simple for them that they almost can't say no to doing business with you. Now, there's one other bonus I want to share with you that I've never shared, and we just don't share this, we don't sell this. But what if you wanted to have a product that you could sell at the back of a room of a seminar? Say you put together a seminar, and you have people in your seminar, and not everybody wanted to sign up for consulting, or maybe you didn't want to sell consulting, but you wanted to sell a home study course for them. What if you had a home study course already done for you? Here's an action guide right here with all the tabs on what you can do to grow your business. All the tabs, everything you need to know to grow a business. So you say, well, I don't understand it. I need to have some directions. Fine. What if you had a manual right here that took you step by step, page by page, everything, you walk through this, you put this on one side, and you have the manual here, and you open it up and you read what it says here, and you fill it out over here. See how simple that is? What if you wanted to make this into a home study course, but you wanted to add another component? Well, then what if you took this and recorded, word for word, recorded what the manual says on CD? Now you've got a manual, you've got an action guide, you've got the CDs, you've got the entire program. You could charge a lot of money. How much do you charge and how do you sell it? Well, what if we put together an entire manual for you, the consultant's manual, that shows you step by step exactly what to do, how to charge for it, different price points, how to sell it, how to make a presentation that has additional collateral material, follow-up material, has all that in here. It's already done for. It's so simple. It's so brain dead simple. That's why I say, look, we just make it available to you. Here's a quick start guide. Here's how you're going to get up and running very quickly. It gives you everything you need to know to get up and running very, very quickly. I have 45 years of experience doing this. I know what I'm talking about. There's nobody, I'll guarantee there's nobody out there that has as comprehensive a program as we have, as well put together, and it's so brain dead, step by step, 1, 2, 3, money comes out program. Now, here's what I'm doing. For the next couple of programs that I'm going to do, I'm going to be making a special donation to cancer awareness, detection, and prevention. And here's why. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. That was in my colon, in my rectum, my pelvis, both leg bones, my lymph nodes, and my liver. They said I had 6 to 12 months to live. They couldn't operate because it was all over the place. So they treated me with chemo and radiation, 6 weeks of chemo, 6 weeks of radiation to try to reduce the size of this tumor that I had. Baseball-sized tumor. They said I'd been carrying this tumor for 7 to 10 years. I didn't even know it. I'm a competitive athlete. I hold a state time trial cycling record. I've won the national time trial championships. I've won the world games 8 times. I'm a competitive triathlete. Always kept myself in excellent shape and really have tried everything I could to eat right and to exercise properly. I go to the gym 6 days a week. But I got this cancer. Didn't have any idea. But there's a test that you can take. It's called a colonoscopy. Had I known that, had I been aware, we could have detected the problem and I could have prevented what I've got now. Now, fortunately, I went in for some scans here 4 months ago, and they came to the conclusion that, well, first of all, I went in for some scans, and the doctor laid the original scan down, and he said, "Can you see the cancer? It shows here, 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 and here." I said, "I can see it. It's very plain." He said, "Here's a new scan. I want you to point out where the cancer is." And I said, "We can't find it." And he said, "We can't either." And I said, "What do you call that?" He said, "Well, we don't have a medical term, but we call it a miracle around here." I said, "So what does that mean?" He said, "In my mind, it means the man upstairs has more for you to do. It's not your time yet." Now, here to understand this. I had 6 to 12 months to live. They weren't going to operate unless it became an emergency because the cancer was everywhere. But they had to go in, and they said, if we don't get this out of here, it got to the point where if we don't get this out of here, you've only got 2 to 3 days left because your colon's going to burst. You're going to have all this toxin in your body. So they went in and got the colon, the tumor out of the colon. But I still had the cancer in the other parts of the body. But when I went back in for the scans after the radiation and the chemo, they couldn't find it. It was gone. Not in remission, it's gone. The doctor said, "Well, you're not out of the woods yet because, you know, a scan, a PET scan, is like a camera. It is a camera, and it takes the pictures of the inside of your body. But like any other kind of camera, it can only capture what it can see at that particular moment. And so there might be some microscopic cells that it can't pick up. So we're going to put you on 4 more months of chemo." Now, Friday, I just had my last chemo treatment. And the nurses all came out. They gave me a standing ovation. They sang to me, and they gave me a diploma to thank me and congratulate me for making it through the last 4 months of chemo. And I'm telling you, that chemo will just lay you flat out on the back. I have a real obligation right now, and the obligation is to make sure other people don't go through this. I just got the bill for the last 4 months of chemo, over $206,000. For the last 4 months of chemo. That's not counting the 6 operations I had, the 3 weeks in the hospital, the other hospital stays that I had, or the colonoscopy, or the doctors. That's not counting that. That's only counting this last 4 months. $206,000. Can you imagine? By the time I finish this thing's going to run about $250,000. I don't want anybody to go through that. Now, I'm talking about the money out of pocket, or the money your insurance company has to pay. And then you have your deductibles in there. But there's also something else that's very important. And that is the trauma and the tragedy and the heartbreak that your family goes through. Hey, my husband, after 39 years, I might not have a husband. My grandfather or my father, I have 6 kids, 26 grandkids. They're very important to me. I want to be here for them. You see, well, what if I'm not here? I don't want somebody else to have to go through this. And maybe they can't cure it like they did mine. So what I'm doing, I'm taking every dollar that we make, other than the cost of the manuals that we give, and the cost of the lunches, and the cost of the hotel, which is going to run about $600 per person for the manuals. And I'm not charging anything for the training. The training is free. I'm giving the training away. I'm donating the training. So the money we're taking in from the programs, from what we sell, is all going to go into cancer awareness, detection, and prevention. Had I been aware, we could have detected, we could have prevented. So that's where I'm going right now. And this is only going to be for a couple of seminars. I can't do it for everybody. I can only take a handful of people. And here's what I want. I have some corporate sponsors now that are helping me offset the price on this. That's why I'm able to do this. Again, I'm not taking any money. All the money the corporate sponsors are giving us are going into awareness, detection, and prevention as well. And here's why they're willing to do that. They want to get their name in front of other business owners. And the way they can do that, they can run ads all day long. That's one thing. But it's another to have a consultant who has clients out here, and they can endorse those clients to that company. That's what we're looking for. So they're looking at making this program very, very successful. I can only take a handful. I can't do this for everybody. I'm doing all the training. I don't have any staff that's going to do the training. I'm doing it all myself. I'm doing all the follow-up. I'm doing all of the residual training. I'm answering all the questions. I'm doing all the teleseminars. I'm doing all the webinars personally myself. And why? Because this program has to be successful. I can't afford any kind of failure, any kind of letdown on this program. It has to be successful. My future in getting these corporate clients to endorse other programs for us is dependent upon this program. That's why I can only take a handful of very qualified people who are interested in taking their business to another level, who are interested in having a massive transformation from where they are now to where they want to be and where they can be, where they have the potential to be, and doing it in a brain dead, step by step, paint by the numbers, 1, 2, 3, and money comes out kind of approach. That's where I put it together. And I'm not going to give the price on this video because I don't want this to go to everybody. I don't want this to be on the internet. I don't want it to be everywhere. I'm going to make available a way for you to contact me to find out if you think you're qualified, if you think you have what it takes, and you think you have the desire and you're a self-starter, self-actuator, to be able to make a program like this work for you, like it has for so many other people. Now, we've charged up to $20,000 before. In fact, in some cases, up to $30,000 for an advanced training. So we know what the program is worth. We know what it can do for people. I'm willing to do the same thing for you. If you feel like you're qualified, if you feel like you're interested and you want to know more information, there's going to be information on this page that you can use to find out exactly what our price point is and what's taking place. And I'm going to answer all the calls, by the way. So if you feel like this is right for you, then go ahead and take advantage of the offer that we have on this page, and I'll be in touch with you personally. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that if you're qualified, you feel this is right for you, that you and I will be speaking soon.